Oh, sorry. G'day, it's Harry Houdini here in his igloo. Let me tell you, this is the coldest winter I have ever experienced in tropical Queensland. Look, you know, we have beaches here and we have topless bathing. Well, not this year, I can tell you. No, apparently we're breaking some records for the century and it's freezing. I mean, we don't get down to -2. Doesn't happen. It's the tropics. Oh, anyhow, enough of my problems. Oh, goodness me, this is what I have to wear. This is what I'm stuck with, all this attire. It's pretty hard to bloody model in your mittens, I can tell you. Anyhow, none of that. You didn't come here for all that crap. No. Look, it's been a while, but I've got back on the Kettenkrad. Alright, this is a great model. I was so enthusiastic when I picked it up. And I really enjoyed putting it together. I made a few mistakes. Oh dear. Managed to glue some little air filter thing on wrong. Alright, and luckily you guys pointed that out to me and said, "Hey, you dickhead, you got your bloody thing on back to front." And I can't even blame Dragon this time. No, I'd like to, because you know their instructions are ass about face and totally cocked up. Well, they actually got it right for some reason. I don't know. It was late, I was tired, I was excited, wanted to get the video out. And yeah, anyhow, fixed. That's done. That's all looking really nice now, that whole drivetrain, right? And I made that removable from the body, so I could do all kinds of tips and tricks. So then I went on with the thing that I really enjoy the most, the wheels. Yes, look, okay. So yeah, I got all those wheels nice around. There's lots of wheels on this. It's great. It's really good. I like half-tracks. So I got the wheels done, and then next, of course, is the track links. Yes, so this is where we catch up with my videotaping, which was a little earlier in the week when I wasn't quite frozen. And I managed to figure out how to get those shoed track links on this tiny kettle crab without totally going insane. Although some would debate I was probably there to start with. Anyhow, here you go. Oh God, I've got to crawl back underneath the heater. So here I have the suspension and the wheels all installed on that side. And if I flip it over, there it is with those little track links on. Aren't they cute? They really are quite nice. Oh, that's Bass the cat. She says, "Where's the fish?" Yes, it's been a bit of a cold day here. She's quite hungry. I'll sort it out. Now, I've just dry fitted those. Right? Those ones spin. That one's cemented in because that's going to have the track links run off it, and I want that one to move. And it needed to be because of the way the drive housing went. This back one here, it's firm, but it's only white glued in. And I still have this whole thing so that it splits apart. I have that. So I can actually work on the track links without having to have all the weight and all the business of the motor in there. So there's this at 1/35th scale, right? And that is a Stug at 1/72nd scale. I kid you not. Right? So this tiny little Stug that I built, which was, you know, fiddly enough in itself, it's physically the same size as this one in a scale that should be twice as big. So that gives you an idea. These little kitten crap things, they're tiny. They really are quite little. So there you go. So that's the Stug. So with the Stug, I mean, the tracks were tiny. Look how thin they, you know, again, they're half the size. So the tracks here are bigger, but they're fiddly because you've only got this little area to work in. Alright, so I cemented down the front drive sprocket because that would make it easier to get the tracks on without everything moving, and I can basically then wrap them around. So what I found is, leave the feet off. Do your track links exactly as I would for anything else with individual track links. Alright, and that's what I'm going to do now, is just do my indie links the same old method that I've always used. So here we have the sprue, and there's 3 of these B sprues with these tiny little links on, and then there's all the little shoes that are going to have to go on. And we'll leave those. As I said, I'm going to leave the shoes till afterwards because I found, put the links on, get them set, the right shape, then because nothing here is fixed, I could actually lift them off, put the shoes on afterwards. So, you know, or you can even put the shoes on in situ. It's not that hard. It really is a lot easier than mucking around trying to put the shoes on and then wrap them. Because I tried that as well, and the shoes just pop off while you're putting the links around anyway, so you end up having to pop them back on. So why not leave it and just do it the easy way? So, we'll go back to my normal method of doing track links, and to do that I need a rule so that I can guide them nice and straight. I'll need some sticky tape, which I'm going to put down. Just put the edge down and then roll over, and if you've seen this before, you know exactly what's going on. Okay, this is the same bit I used for the other side. Actually, it's got a few bask hairs in, but I'll pluck those out. These aren't very wide, so I don't need much room at all. So that's my working area. I know I need 43 links, that's all. That's not a lot. So it's going to be fairly easy to build this whole assembly here, dry fit those links on, and then I'll be able to use my usual method of slow setting glue, put that on, wait till they're tacky, wrap them around, seal them up, bingo bongo, it's too easy. And then I can worry about those shoes, which will go around the outside. So here we go. We'll get some snappy music happening, and you'll get to see this slightly speeded up. It's going to take me about an hour and a half. It's a nice easy job. There we go. I've got piles of 10, 10, 20, 30, 40, and I've got 2 there. That took me half an hour. It really wasn't that hard to cut them off the sprue and tidy them up. Now, there's only 2 little tidy up points, and I'll show you a little close-up photo now. There's a hook at one end, that'll be on the right, and on the left there's a couple of pins. So you've only really got to basically file those smooth, and it's not hard. Now, because I've got the luxury of my little Mine Shima sprue cutters, or Mini Shima, M-I-N-E, Shima, so it's Mine Mini, whatever. It's a hobby tool. These are shear cutters. Now shear cutters are great because they don't wreck things like cheap cutters do. Yes, they cost a little more, but they will last for a long time and they're very good. Now, I can get in really close and cut, and then very close to those pins. With a vertical cut. Okay, and it doesn't ping off, it just falls down. So there's the tiny little link. Okay, it's about, it's less than half the size of those panther links I was working on. They're tiny, probably about a third the size of panther links. So this hook has just got to end up flat, and because I've been able to cut pretty close, I've only really got to, one more, that's it. That's done on that side, right? So that's just got to be smooth enough that it can click in, because it's going to click in to this other side over here. And this other side here's got the pins. Now the pins have, just because they've been cut vertically, to make sure they can rotate, I just do a couple little 45-degree passes either side of where the cut is, and then just a quick smooth around, very gently. Now there's only tiny bits of plastic there, right? So it doesn't take much. And that's it. So they only take seconds to tidy up, and now we are ready to do the assembly. All we're going to need to do this, so slow setting glue, which we'll put on afterwards. Don't recommend ever using Tamiya Thin or something like super glue to do track links. They'll set too fast and you'll have no time to bend them. Unless you use one of the methods where you do a bit, that to me seems like such a nightmare when this is so easy and this is so fast. Here we go, all the links were cut out. They're all ready to go, as I said, and here we go, putting in the very first one into my rig, which I set up before, which is just some Tamiya tape turned up so that it's sticky side up. Now, I'm putting these with the inside waffle down, and the reason for that is that the shoes are going to go on the outside, they go on this bump. There's that pin is going to fall into those. That hook is going to fall into that pin. I wish I could talk properly. You know what I mean. Hook into pin, okay? And using the rule as a guide, and it's always twice as bloody hard doing these things when I've got iPads in my face and lights up my bum and, whinge, yes I know. I hope you can see this. Does it look any good? Yeah, it's actually working. Actually, I'm having a look at the monitor now because I'm doing this by feel. Look, it's a bit fiddly, but it's not that hard. It really is not that hard. So, I'm just popping away. Oh, that one's got a bit of burring on it. I might go back and tidy that one up. So again, it's just a matter of fitting those hooks into those pins. And imagine you're trying to do this like in the middle of the air or something, or trying to do it in your hand. I can't see how you could do it. It really would be a nightmare. And I did try that first, but using the rule to push up against, like I always do with track links, using some tape that sticky side up, like I always do with track links, this to me is the foolproof method. I can't see why you would do it any other way. All right, and the beauty is this is just dry fitted, so you've got time to get it all right, get it all in, and then when you go to gluing, you're doing your gluing in one hit. Right? When I've got all these links down and I glue, that glue will dry at the same speed on all the links. Now if you're putting a link in, gluing, putting a link in, gluing, and if this takes you half an hour, those ones at the front there, they're pretty well set. Right? They're pretty well already set and stuffed. And the ones at the back, they're not set at all, they're all going to be loose and wobbly and fall off. What's the point in that? That to me doesn't make any sense either. So I don't know. I've seen other people do it and they have success, but it doesn't make any sense to me. Dry fit all your links, glue, wait a fixed amount of time, usually 15 minutes for me, to that slow setting Revell glue is tacky. Wrap them round, seal the last link together, put your sag in, done. To me, this is the easiest way. Anyhow, I will stop waffling. I'll get on, get the rest of these links done, and then we shall glue and wrap onto the little Kettenkrad. "15 minutes later, and the links are all done. And they're really not that hard, although there's only 43 on these. Normally you'd get close to 100 on the side of most tanks. So they're in, and the beauty of this method is, with this rule, is I can really give them a good pressing into place. Make sure they're all nice and flat, and I'm pushing up against the rule. I'm also making sure the rule's dragging this way, which keeps my tape down. And look at that, they're perfect, they're ready to go. So all I've got to do now is cement them. And normally I would cement around the guide horns in the middle, as I don't like to wreck my tracks. And the middle is the easiest spot because that gets covered up by the road wheels and soot and dust and soot and dust. Soot and dust. Oh goodness me, Harry, you can't speak. Now I found last time that basically, it's going to be this point here is where they're going to cement. It's basically above the pins. So just give it the tiniest little bit of this slow setting stuff. So it's as easy as that. So away I go. I hope I'm getting it in the right spot. So this is quite fiddliest little links I've ever done, but they are doable, and it's very rewarding once you get them done. So in we go with the glue, and I'm just letting gravity feed it here. I'm not even squeezing because they're just basically going in. One there popping up a little bit. I'll come back and just adjust that before I go. So that glue will fall down and cement in those pins as much as they need to be. There we go, easy as that, done. Alright, we'll come back in about 15 minutes and then we should be able to wrap them around the wheels here, and then it's only a matter of putting the shoes on afterwards. How easy is that? Well, it's been a little over 15 minutes. I had to go and feed Baz the cat, didn't I? Oh, princess, she's got to be fed. So let's see how we went. Now, my usual method is to use a pair of tweezers and go underneath the links to lift them up. I'll use my left hand, then you can see what's going on. Right, by carefully going under there, they should all lift. There you go, they're nice and tacked together, but they will bend, so we don't need this apparatus any longer. Okay, crash, bang. What are you doing, Harry? Do you recognise? Right, so what we've got to do is get these tracks on there. Now, they do have a direction, but quite frankly, it's all very well. It's a bit hard to fathom. I think there's a sort of a roundy side and a pointy side, and the skippy bit's got to go to the front. I think that's sort of it. But you can look at that in the instructions to decide yourself, because I think I got them back to front on the other side. And then by the time I got the shoes on, you couldn't bloody tell. So, putting it through on the top, lucky you got plenty of room here, I'm going to be joining underneath, which means I'm going to be joining the wheels, which is how I always do interlinks. So, there we go. Now the thing always is, the one thing that's fixed is the sprockety wheel. So that's where we have to follow the sprockets, and that's going to be a fixed point. So there we go. So that wraps around there. Okay. Now I need something a bit pokey here. Let's have a look. Now last time when I tried this, I sort of had some those feet on, and boy, does that makes it quite a drama. So that goes through to there. That's going to go along there. Okay, they're popping through nicely into there. And if I'm lucky, look at that. It's going to fit. So wrapping them around, and the best way would be to get them nice and tight at the top there. So I know that I've got the tension I want, because there basically won't be any sag in these. All the photos I found, they just didn't display any sag. So there we go, that is going to link into there, as easy as that. So let's get a dollop of glue in there, inside the where the pins are going to go. And then it should be just a matter of click, in with my fumbly fingers. Click. Fumble, fumble, fumble. This is so tidy, but it is doable. Okay. And unfortunately I didn't get it right on a wheel. If I got the joint right on a wheel, I'll be able to apply a bit more pressure. Let that get a little tacky, and then I'm going to flip it over, and then we might just pad out. It's not exactly sag, but I want the links to sit flush with those top wheels. It's had a few minutes so that that cement is tacky enough that I can now release it. It's still a bit wobbly down there, but don't worry about that, we can fix that in a sec. So what we first need to do is to, normally we'd set sag, but here really these track links sit pretty level. I've had a look in photos and everything, and there's just a whole lot of tension in there, and they sit level. So that's all I'm going to do. Put that in. That pushes them down pretty well hard onto those top wheels. Now to get the bottom part flat, it's as easy as just sitting it down and letting gravity do the work. Okay, so I can encourage it a bit by just getting in there with a little pokey thing and make sure that they're a bit more level. Especially around that joint that we've got, which just happened to be in the air between two wheels. How unlucky could I be? Normally I get a joint on the wheels, which makes it easy because you push up out against it. But that's nearly level now, and well, that's just about there. And if I let that sit now for a couple of hours, that whole thing will level out at the bottom. The toothpick I've got in there, which is the only spacer I need, will level out the top. Gravity will do its work anyway, and the thing will kind of naturally rest. And that's the beauty about the slow setting glue, is it gives it time to still move around and shuffle around and settle to where it needs to be. But we've made sure the links were put together correctly, all basically linked exactly at perpendicular to the way they run, so that's all lined up. That's necessary, get that right, because otherwise you've got an god-awful mess if they're all wonky. And having them in this method of semi-gluing them, wrapping them around as a strip, and then letting it sit is so easy. This all up has probably only taken me an hour, and really it only takes that long with bigger sets of track links. It's really not, you've just got maybe a little more cleanup, or if you've got Dragon Magic tracks, you don't have any cleanup at all. And you actually go straight into assemble, gluing, wrapping. And the beauty is now I can just go and relax, that will just set around there, that'll do its thing, and this side will end up as good as that side. Oh, I do have the shoes to put on, right, but they're not a big deal. They're really not that hard at all. As I found last time, really, I can pop them on afterwards. All right, so there we go. I'll come back, put those shoes on, and then the track links are done. And there's where the Kettenkrad is now. It's use your imagination. It's just a few little bits and pieces there, but I'm sure they'll glue together and turn back into the vehicle. No, as per my method always, the wheels attached. I even found those, the front sprockets. I thought I glued them in, but actually they were only white glued. So everything pulled off, which was a bonus, and that means I can paint them all individually, which is what I prefer to do. Paint them up, weather them up, do them so that I've got more control and can really see what I'm doing, because I find it very hard to do everything all cemented together. Like, I really admire the people that can put the tracks and the tools and everything on and then paint it all together. I can't figure out how to do that. It's too bloody hard for my fumbling hands. So much easier to have, well, the track link's glued up, but as a piece, all right? So that's just that drop sprocket will pull out of there. Don't worry about that. And yeah, so all my wheels separate, the track links are separate. I'll be able to paint them all up separately. The body is one thing, so I can paint that up the colour that it should be. I'm just going to put the front little front motorcycle wheel on there, and the handlebars. That'll look good. Yeah, I'll get that done. Get that done when my fingers thaw out. And the this little part here, the drivetrain or whatever you want to call it, right? The rolling chassis. Is that it? No, it isn't. The other bit rolls. I don't know. This bit that I made come out with my silliness and my trickiness. Yeah, that'll get painted up separately as well because I want to individually detail that motor, even though it'll be under a flap and hardly ever seen. I just want to do it for the hell of it. So that's what I've got in store for the next video on this Kettenkrad, right? Is I'll get onto the painting because I'll just finish off this only say the front handlebars and the wheel and the drums to put on, and I'll put some photos on next time what I do with that, and then we'll paint her up, and I'm going to do a bit of a camo scheme, and it should be nearly done. We'll be out of this thing. Yeah, it's only going to be a 3 video one, this one. I won't make you watch hours and hours. No, I wouldn't do that to you. All right, well, I'll go and chop some more wood for my fire. And I'll see you next time. All right, well, it's hooray from a very cold Australia, and it's goodbye from Harry Houdini.